My name is Stephanie Holbrook, and for Drama 30, I did my oral presentation on my brother-in-law, Silvestri. He came from a small town of, I'm not even going to say this right, Potla de Oraca, Mexico. He was born into a very poor family. He was the youngest of 14. His parents were very hardworking people. They believed that education was very important. They wanted their kids to go to school and not worry about going to work, that they would work as much as they needed to in order to provide for their family as long as their kids went to school. And once their kids became 18, as they became 18, they would send them to America in hopes for better lives. When Silvestri turned about 17, they found out that he was no longer attending school and he started getting involved in the wrong crowds. And they thought it was best to send him to America with his brothers and sisters and to in search of hopefully turn his life around. So Silvestri and his brother and his two sisters started their journey to America. They got into a truck. It wasn't that hard to cross the border then. They sat on the floorboard of a truck and they just drove across the border. Once they made it across, the truck pulled over and told them this was their stop and they had to walk the rest of the way. They walked for about a day before their older brother came and picked them up, and they drove to Healdsburg, where they moved. And Healdsburg is just north of Santa Rosa. He moved into a small one-bedroom apartment with his two sisters and his nephew, and he really enjoyed the space compared to where he was living in Mexico and how many people he was sharing a room with there. Soon after he moved to Healdsburg, he found work as a plumber, and he decided he wanted to start a new life for himself. He met my sister Andrea, and they were about 19 years old then, and they were ready to make better lives for themselves. They worked hard, they saved their money, and they ended up getting married. They moved into a two-bedroom apartment, and soon after they had two kids. They have never been in trouble, and they're about 36 now, and he's still with the same plumbing company that he's been with. And still, they never even had speeding tickets. They both have never been in trouble. After I interviewed him, I asked him what his views were with the immigration laws and what he thought of everything. And he was telling me how unfair it is that he is having so much trouble to become a citizen because him and my sister have spent so much money on different lawyers trying to become a citizen, and he just doesn't understand why. He is a hardworking person. They pay their taxes. He's never been in trouble. My niece and nephew are in school. He coaches their soccer teams. Like he just doesn't understand why. Like, you just need to be born here to become a citizen. That he just doesn't understand. And after taking this class and seeing the struggles that Latinos have faced, and then hearing all the problems that they're facing, to grant him citizenship, I see the problems with it as well. And I just don't understand that for somebody to have never been in trouble before and now he's paid so much money to different lawyers and held a job, the same job, and he pays his bills on time, and he coaches little kids in team sports, and I just don't understand, like, how was this person not a standing citizen, why does he need to walk around with fear every day of being deported? That he's scared to do family vacations. He's scared every day to travel outside of Healdsburg because uh, he's scared to be pulled over, and the simple fact that he could be deported at any time. At any time, that family can be ripped apart. And I just find that it is just completely unfair, these immigration laws, and I think that there needs to be change done, and I think that laws need to be looked upon differently, especially for people who have been here for so long and people who have held jobs and never been in trouble, pay their taxes. And I understand where he's coming from, and I hope that people will see and do things differently because of this. And taking this class has opened my eyes to see that things haven't changed that much over time. Watching these movies from decades ago into watching the news now, things are not that different. Things are still pretty much the same. Well, that is my oral presentation, and I hope you like it.